My fishing has taken me on some pretty incredible adventures over the years. Chasing big carp across continental Europe has been my main passion, ever since my first trip back when I was 14, but especially so in the last 7 or 8 years. I'm constantly chasing the next new experience as I seek carp from foreign countries and unique venues. As of late, this curiosity for new adventures has found me looking to explore places that are further and further afield. Fishing at destinations that have yet to be fully explored by conventional carp anglers, visiting countries and venues that can still claim to hold truly wild fish. In this series, I'll be journeying to every corner of the world as I try to catch carp from countries you wouldn't necessarily associate with our target species. This is Wild Frontiers, Episode 1, Canada. I wasn't going on my own for this trip. I'd enlisted the help of Paul Sioka, a passionate carp angler originally from Romania who had lived in Canada for the last 30 years. Canada doesn't have a huge number of serious carp anglers, but there are a few out there, and Paul was the best of the best. Paul was going to be crucial in my quest to catch a Canadian carp.
Canadian carp fishing is unique because of just the vast amount of water we have, both lakes and rivers, from the Great Lakes to the St. Lawrence, and even, the Trent Severn, which is what water system we're on right now. Last fall, I came out here with my dad on a houseboat, and I had a session of a lifetime, and we ended up catching 440s, 630s, and a few upper 20 mirrors, and it was just unreal. And that's why we find ourselves in the same spot. I was trying to give Henry a really, really good experience, and hopefully it happens.
The first job was to actually get to the venue. As Paul said, we were fishing the Trent Severn water system, a maze of interconnecting lakes and channels spread out over a 250 kilometre wide area. Our destination was an island where Paul had his dream session last autumn, or fall as Paul and our North American brothers call it, and it was going to be a journey just to get to that island with all the equipment, tackle, bait and food we needed for our session. We'd be bringing 2 inflatable boats and equipping one with a petrol outboard to get to the destination, whilst towing the other one behind with all our gear. The typical electric motors we use in our fishing in Europe just don't have the power to get us where we need to go in a reasonable amount of time. After loading the boat, a convoy departed the boat ramp and we headed off into the vastness of the Trent Severn, traversing through dot islands and miles upon miles of spruce and pine forests. It really did feel like we were heading into a carp fishing frontier. After a good hour on the boat, we finally pulled up to our little island.
Oh, there's a lot of goose shit on here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Once we were on the island, it was time to do some housekeeping. It looked like the only thing to have stepped foot on there since Paul had been there around 9 months ago was a copious number of geese that had left their mark absolutely everywhere. With a snap branch, I managed to clear the area to make it a bit more inhabitable for us before we got to work unloading the boat in the intense summer heat. With the gear unloaded, we rewarded ourselves with an ice-cold beer from the cooler.
Cheers. Made it.
We chose a swim that has some deeper water available, as well as some shallow areas with weeds. And our baiting approach, like most of North America, we try to get in considerable amount of bait, such as a whole bucket to start, and then you kind of top it up every day. The idea is that the carp at this time of year are not really concentrated like in the springtime, and so we want to intercept them, and when they do find the food, we want to make sure there's enough food there that they don't switch back to the naturals, basically the zebras, and leave the spot.
It is a hot one, but everything's on the island now. We're all sorted. We're good to go out and find the spot. What we're looking for is there's a big drop off out there and it creates a channel. And Paul's caught a lot of fish from there in the past, and he thinks the fish use it as a bit of a patrol route. We're going to go out there, once we've found the spot, load it up with a load of bait, loads and loads of particle, and we need to have a lot of bait there so when the fish do pass, there's something for them to eat and there's something there to hold them. Once we've found that spot, like I said, we're going to get all the bait in there. Once that bait's in there, the countdown starts. The bait's in the water. We've got time for the fish to find it, so there's no rush to get the rods out. Slowly get the rods ready, get them out on the spot, and then hopefully tonight we'll start getting a few bites.
With a plan formulated, it was time to head out in the boat to locate the drop-off that Paul was adamant would be our best chance to intercept the fish.
13, 14, so it's dropping fast
Yeah.
here, 16, 17.
The spot was located without too much difficulty, with it being such a severe drop-off and having Paul's past knowledge of the swim. We put down a marker pole that we would place in the middle of the drop-off directly in front of the swim. This would be our visual marker for baiting and deploying rigs. With this done, it was a case of getting the particle in en masse. There was no tiny baiting traps or fishing on little spots here. Spread the bait all across the swim. The particle will be well spread out, falling beneath the rocks and cracks over a wide area. Therefore, when these wildebeest-like carp descended on the area in a big herd, there'll be plenty of bait on the spot to allow them to graze for a long period of time, increasing our chances of a big hit. With a full 25-litre bucket of particle dispatched on the area, it was time to head back to the swim and prep the rods.
The Trent Severn has a lot of zebra mussels, which makes for rapid carp growth and also pretty gnarly experience for the anglers because you can get cut off very easily. So you have to use heavy fluorocarbon leaders or mono leaders.
Okay, the rods are sorted and they're ready to go out, and I might live to regret what I'm fishing with, because Paul says I need to fish with mono and I need to fish with 3-4 ounce leads because of that steep drop off and all the mussels and just the chance of being cut off. But I feel like I'll be so much more confident fishing 1 with braid and 2 with a heavier lead. 1 because I'm going to drop them with the boat as opposed to casting. I'd just be worried about moving it with that lighter lead and potentially dinking the hook. And with the braid, I just want to be in contact with those fish quicker. If I start losing fish, then I'll let Paul say, I told you so, and I'll move over to what he recommends. But for the time being, I'm going to stick to what I know. In terms of the rig I'm going for, I've got a long length of 0.7 snag leader. Super strong. This is going to help me deal with those zebra mussels out there that could cut me off. 6 ounce lead, like I said, inline. I'm fishing with inlines a lot this trip because I can't drop leads. I flew over here, I don't have loads of weight allowance, so I had to fish with inlines. Again, I might drop this down if it's a problem I'm losing fish. I might drop down to a 3 or a 4 ounce like Paul's recommended, because it just means I can get them out of the water a little bit quicker. But for me, dropping them from the boat, I want to have that big lead. Combi multi-rig with a size 4 Claw X hook. I used these recently in a trip to France, and oh my god, I cannot believe how few fish I lost extreme snag fishing, and that's why I'm going to use them here. They've got slightly thicker wire gauge, slightly thicker barb, and you just don't lose fish on them. Hook bait wise, tiger nut with a slither of scope squid pop up to make it a bit like a wafter and to imitate that maize, and I'm hoping that is going to catch us a few of these carp. We put the bait out now, it's been out for about an hour, 2 hours, so we're going to drop these rods, get back, and I'm hoping, yeah, sometime tonight, early morning, we'll catch a fish.
I went out in the boat to drop the rods on the spot. I felt much more confident using the boat for this, as I could guarantee accuracy and presentation. With my rods out on the left-hand side of the swim, Paul then got his rigs out on the right-hand side. We were both fishing the same baited area, just either end of it. He decided to cast his rods, with both rods being cast beyond the marker float. Paul was confident he was fishing over the spread of bait on the drop-off, and we were both finally fishing. It'd been a long task getting to this point, and we were both pretty exhausted. It was time to cook a little bit of food and chill out. The sun was still beating down on us, so we kept going in the lake to cool down. As the sun began to set that evening, I was so excited to be heading into my first night in Canada. I didn't expect to get a bite until the following morning at the earliest, but to my surprise, one of Paul's rods ripped off shortly after sunset.
Oh, it's a big one, man.
Yeah.
And
Sadly, the fish became snagged, not on the drop-off but in the marginal weed beds, so we decided to jump in the boat to head out to play it from above instead of risk pulling it through the weed and losing it.
Yeah, don't force it. The boat's here now. If we want to go,
yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I can still feel the fish. Good. Actually, just help it a bit. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh.
It's a long fish.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Well,
Come on. Nice, man. Get in there.
Oh, it's a small fish. I wasn't expecting it, but drop backs. That's ridiculous.
I wasn't expecting that. That's not
That
that long
early,
at all.
It's a good.
Paul was so confident we would catch many more and much bigger carp that he slipped it back before I could get any footage of it.
Paul just stuck it back
Okay, you're gonna get the big one.
because he knows we're catching bigger.
All right.
I said, you just stuck it back because you know we're going to catch a bigger one. So, The first Canadian carp you'll see is going to be bigger than that one.
I was buzzing to have caught one so quickly and looking forward to see what the night may bring. With how confident Paul had been after we landed that fish, I was surprised to awake the following morning without any action to report.
Well, good morning, and I'm quite surprised to say we didn't catch anything in the night. Well, we did catch one. You saw Paul's fish, which he put back before we managed to show it for the camera, which I think was probably a good sign. The fact that he just chucked it straight back without even holding it up makes me think, okay, we're going to catch some nice fish here. He was quite confident we were going to catch that the night. He thought the fish had found the bait, but we woke up this morning to nothing. We reset the rods this morning, having a couple of coffees, cooking a bit of breakfast now, just hoping that one of them goes off. It's starting to get a little bit later in the day, still very early, but yeah, I'm hoping that at any point now we're going to get a bite. From what I can tell, the fish, they will find this bait. It's just a waiting game for them to find it, and once they find it, the action it will be pretty hectic. So I'm not worried too much yet. Paul says not to worry at all. It's just a case of waiting until they find the bait in numbers, and then we'll start catching a few. So in the meantime, I'm doing a little bit of bass fishing as well, just chucking the lure about to see if I can catch anything. So far it's proved unsuccessful, but we'll try. We're still waiting for that first Canadian fish, and I'm hoping it's going to happen today. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, hey!
That's a bat.
There we go, little rock bass. Apparently, check him out. First Canadian fish. I've got to get a photo of him. Come on.
I really enjoyed fishing for the bass, especially whilst the carp fishing was slow. I decided to leave the island and go for an hour or two exploring the boat, bass fishing as I went. I managed to catch a few, and it was a lot of fun. I can see why the North Americans love their lure fishing for this aggressive species. The way they hit the lure is so exciting, and if we had them in the UK, I would definitely fish for them a little bit more. I decided to keep a couple so that Paul and I could eat them later that day. After landing a couple to keep, I headed back to the island to refocus my attention on the carp.
Well, today's been fun, but no carp caught. Caught some bass, caught some rock bass, caught some bluegill, caught loads of cool different fish. Yeah, no carp. Rod's been redone, they're out there again, and I'm hoping tonight we're gonna get a little bit of action. I've gone and found a third spot on the other side of this island, and I'm not 100% sure if it's clear. On the echo, it looked like there's a clear spot in amongst the weed. It's not that far out, it's about 12 foot deep, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go out and swim and actually check it properly. I could use a marker float. If I was back in France with all my own gear, I'd probably use an underwater camera, but it's been a warm day, why not go swim and check it out that way? So go for a little swim now, check it out, make sure it's clear. If it's clear, let's get the rod out on there. Then we can sit back, chill, and have a little cook up of some of the fish I caught today. Yeah, it's clear, the echo wasn't lying. Really nice spot actually. We've got weed, boulders, big boulders, and it goes to like this channel maybe 2 meters wide of pretty much just crushed shell. It's perfect almost, and it goes to weed again. So I think if the fish are coming around this island, they'll either have to go through our main baited spot in the deep channel or the slightly less deep channel that I've just found out here. So I'm feeling good about it. Let's go get the rod, get it out there, and cook up some of these fish. Right, let's see what it's saying. Paul, which one do you reckon will be better? The rock bass or the smallmouth?
I'd say the rock bass.
Rock bass, Paul reckons, will be the nicer one. Right, this one's the rock bass, let's see. Yeah, really nice. It's really fresh, white, flaky. What's not to like? Right, now this one's the smallmouth. Yeah, I think the rock bass. Good. Yeah, that was cool. I'm glad we did that.
With the taste testing complete, it was time to get back to the fishing. We re-dropped the rods in preparation for the evening, hoping that a freshen up of the rigs and a little top up of bait would trigger the action. We weren't quite full on the little bass we had to eat, so Paul cooked up another meal that evening. We sat back again to take in the beautiful surroundings and just prayed that the night would finally bring us some fish. The following morning came by, again with nothing to report. However, whilst having our morning brews, we did manage to see a couple of shows just beyond the marker. The fish were in the area. Surely a bite was imminent.
All right?
Yeah.
Yeah!
Yes!
It only took a million years, but are you into the fish?
Yeah.
Okay. Doesn't look like a big fish though.
No, I don't think it is.
But hey, first Canadian carp. Come
Oh,
on, get in the net. Get in.
For this, man. We got some people watching as well. I must think we're to a massive muskie or something.
Oh no.
Yes! Yes! Oh, I was so worried we were going to blank here, mate. Oh, come on. Canadian carp. Ticked off the list. Get in there.
Hold on. I'll do a little picture so you can post your story.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, it has finally happened. I've caught my first Canadian carp. It's taken a long time. Check him out. Upper double, maybe a scrapey 20 pounder, but I'm not complaining because it's been tough going and we've finally caught one. I can't believe it. Come halfway across the world fishing this insanely massive waterway and we've caught a carp. Get in there. We've seen a lot more fish show as well, so I think we're in for a little bit of action now. We've waited for this moment. I'm hoping now we can get through a few more of these and then maybe a big one. But yeah, well happy with this one. Thankfully Paul saw him show this morning. We came a little bit shallower and here we are, started catching them. Get in there. Yes! It had been tough going, but to have caught my first Canadian carp, even if it was only a small one, really lifted our spirits. Fish had been shown in the area, so we replaced the rods and sat back in anticipation that another bite would come at some point during the midday period. Bit of a mad one really. We obviously had that fish this morning and since then nothing, but the fish are out there, they're boshing, we can see them showing, so I'm not really sure what's going on, why they're not feeding, but we're just hoping that when the evening period comes, we're going to start catching them. I do feel, although obviously we've not smashed it, we've not caught that many at all, and the fish are here and we're not catching them right now, I still feel confident that we're going to catch a few. So we're going to redo the rods for the final night and just hope that the fish switch on, we start catching a few, and hopefully we catch a big one. So yeah, let's get the rods sorted, get them back out, and yeah, fingers crossed. We were going into our final night. We put maximum effort into getting our rods out to try and give us the best possible chance of landing a few more fish, and hopefully a better sized one as well. It had been cooler that day after the crazy heat of the first couple of days, and with all the fish we'd seen jumping, it did look good for it. It had been a great trip, and although I had caught going into the final night, I had everything crossed that our hard work would lead to a few more carp on the bank. Sadly, I did lose a fish in the night. It cut me off on the drop-off, going straight through the mono snag leader. I recast the rod and we watched the water around sunrise, where I did see a few fish show.
Good wash.
Are they?
In the net. Little bambino.
Well, good morning. Here we go. Another Canadian carp. It's not quite been the session we hoped for. I did lose one in the night as well. It's only my second fish of the session. They are out there, they're boshing. We've still got a chance for a few more, but we came here for a big Canadian carp. And whilst we've caught carp, we've not caught that bigger. And like I said, there's still time left. We get the rod back out and see if we can make it happen in these few final hours.
Carp fishing in Canada is unique in its sense that you really don't know what fish you're going to catch. Could be a small fish, could be a large fish. There's just so much water to explore.
Oh no! Literally the second I clamped down. I think that was a better one. No! Man.
Can't let him go, man. I know that you want to, but you can't.
The fish did show up that morning and we had a couple more bites, including one that did feel better. However, in the cruelest of fashions, these fish got the better of me and I ended up getting cut off again on the savage zebra mussels. Paul had success in the past beasting the carp from the bank, but this hadn't been working for me this morning. If I'd stayed longer, I would have let the fish run with minimal pressure and then gone out in the boat to play them from above. Sadly, time had run out and I didn't have the chance to deploy this change of tactics. The carp gods must have felt pity on me though, as right as we were packing up, I did get one final bite.
We got no food left because we could have stayed another day, I feel.
I go catch some more bass. We'll eat nothing but bass. Go full savage. Right, get down here now.
Is he close in already?
Yeah.
Might not be that big then.
Oh, he's got big old lips in there. Oh, yes. Oh, another one. Slight redemption after that last one. Well, the objective of this trip was to catch a 30-pounder, and we even hoped and dreamed that the Canadian carp record could swim in this waters. Maybe we might catch that. It's not quite turned out that way. I won't lie, I'm a little bit gutted about the one I lost this morning because that felt a little bit bigger. However, it is nice to end on a slightly bigger one. Not the giant we were hoping for, but a lovely Canadian common taken. No! I knew that was going to happen. Oh! I knew that was going to happen. Well, we should have done that on the bank first. We risked it, and just like risking this entire session, it's not gone out as we exactly planned. We're in Canada now for another 3 weeks. I'm going to do loads more fishing films. This is just the start. This is the very first session, so please make sure you like and subscribe to see what else I get up to, and hopefully things go a little bit better than what just happened here on this session.
Well, the trip didn't go exactly to plan, with no real giants hitting the bank, but that's fishing, and every adventure doesn't need a Goliath-sized carp to make it memorable. I travelled halfway across the world, chasing wild carp on one of the most stunning lakes imaginable. That makes for a pretty good session in my eyes, even if it didn't contain a huge fish. I have to say thank you to Paul for his help, guidance and knowledge. Without him, the trip would have been nigh on impossible, so a massive shout out to him. I do have more videos coming up from my time in Canada, both fishing for carp and other species, and after Canada, I'll soon be on a plane again to head to another far-flung location as I search for carp in wild frontiers.